Hello, today is Monday, February the 19th, 2018, and it's about 8:01 p.m. I'm going to splice in a previous video that I made because I'm going to add more information. So I'm going to use the previous one for the preliminary introduction, and then I'm going to add to it. So let me go ahead and press the play button for that one in a second so I can get it to do it. Because it's got stuff that I want to put in there. Now, what in the world's up with this thing? Hi, this is Gwen. Today is Saturday, January the 6th, 2018. Today, the time is 1:37 a.m. Happy New Year. And the reason why I'm recording so late is because I've been preparing this, and by golly, I'm going to put it on anyway. Before I get into my little points I want to make here, I want to talk about two dreams I had. Now, the most recent dream was about, here's what happened. Me and my relatives and friends were all in a house, and then we were packing up to go somewhere. All these black and brown people, male and female, young and old, from the youngest child to the oldest adult, fat, skinny, all of us deeply melanated, and we're in the same family. We were coming outside of a house, back and forth, packing up the cars and picking out who's going to drive. And then at the toward the end, when it was getting dark, we decided to stay another night. And so we all went back in the house and we prepared to bed down. The men were bedding down in one room and the women were bedding down in another room, and I was bedding down in the rooms with the women. And there's young girls and aunts and uncles, and I'm sorry, aunts and mothers and daughters and sisters, and then there were uncles and sons and fathers, and all of us in the same family, but we were all getting ready to go somewhere. Okay, and we were all getting ready to go, and we're all full of love and happy and just getting ready to move someplace or go somewhere on a big trip, a big joyous trip. I don't know where it was, but I think that that's my message from the cosmos, telling that there change is coming, that transition is going to happen. Okay, so that's important. And a lot of people are talking about this transition, or they're saying with times of prophecy. It's obvious that we're living in epic times, times that are going to be written about in history. I look at it from a historical perspective rather than religious, but other people are looking at it from a religious perspective. I'm looking at it as a historical perspective because that's what I'm more comfortable with and understand better. I'm very spiritual, but I'm not religious. But they're talking about it's in the Bible prophecy and the this book prophecy and that one, and it can point to the chapter and verse where all of this is foretold. So they might have prophecy, but to me, politics would be the method. And America, if it don't get its act together, is ripe for a fall, just like all the other empires that fell before it. And one thing they had in common, they didn't believe they were going to fall until they fell. But if I remember the accounts of various empires that fell before, this is the same steps are being taken, and the historians will look back on it and look at it, I think, as Mitch McConnell being a pivotal member who caused it to happen. His name will probably be thought of as a universal bad guy. I, I could go on and on about that, but it's all those things, all the elements are there. If you read a lot of history and saw how empires fell, our governments fell, our government changed, our government upheaval, the elements are right there. So they're talking about it in terms of religious and prophetic terms. I'm talking about it in political terms, but the key point is that we're both seeing the same thing from different angles. As Sister Captain once said, truth is truth. So um, get ready. And that's what this video was about. And then sometime later I had a dream something like that. And this is just black people, melanated black people, men and women, young and old, getting ready to make a move. And we're all in this group of black people, all on the same page about, what was important. and making this change. Now, the other dream is about this one, and this one I had before the one I just told you about. The other dream was this: the people who wanted separation got it, right? And we had plenty of room, and we were building and making things right and doing what we could to heal and fix ourselves because we're broken. You don't get the kind of things that happen to us happen to you without having some kind of scars. So we're trying to heal. And we were working on it, and we're quietly just working on it and doing what we have to do. But all black people didn't come with us. There were people who stayed with white people or stayed with the mainstream side of America. Finally, something happened so horrible that they suddenly decided en masse to leave. It was long after we had left, but now suddenly this whole group is coming over. Except they wanting to bring their bad habits with them. And we told them that they didn't have a say. They didn't have no say. They didn't have no opinions that would be listened to and nothing. We were basically sitting them down and reading them the Riot Act, and they had to take it because we built it. That which separated, we made it, and we weren't changing it, and we were building it the way it was supposed to be, rather than way that it was going to be with them, bringing their old ways, old religious beliefs, and putting up the icons and stuff like that, the old icons that help break us. No, you won't be bringing that with you. You will be changing if you're coming with us. So those who haven't got on board with separation yet, this is the time to make your choice, because if you don't, then you won't get a say after the fact, because it'll be too late for you to weigh in. We don't want to hear you. So those who are on board with separation, then we got to figure out how we're going to do our things, and then get ourselves built and fixed and working on it. So those are the two points I want to make on the dreams that I had. Those are considered messages from the cosmos, and what to prepare for and what to look at. And so that's why I put those out there. Now, what I have down here is saying that we have a small grace period. Get prepared. The reason why I'm writing this out is because they just made a tax reform package that is essentially geared to hurt poor people. And since black people are the poorest people in the country, it's geared to hurt us. Unfortunately, people are so delusional that they think that it will only hurt us until it begins to hurt them. And that's where you get problems. And that's what this is about. This is about us being able to take care and see to ourselves, and be able to protect what we do have when the people catch on that the crap done hit the fan, and they're looking around for handouts and help. And the way they get handouts and help when they ain't got nothing is come attack you. So this is our get prepared. Is A, stock up, get your home garden, study home health, and study home defense. And I got some ideas and slides to show you. Everything I'm going to show you is right off the internet. This isn't hard stuff. But first I'm going to talk about stock up. Okay, now that's going to be the end of that intro for right there. And now we're going to pick up with the stuff that I want to add. And so let me get my little paper. This is additional stuff that I wanted to put in there, where I talk about we need to prepare and we have a small grace period. Okay, the grace period is actually smaller than I thought. It's not as big as I thought it would be. We're actually in more trouble than I thought, so we don't have as much time. Stuff is hitting the fan a little bit sooner. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna Google a quickie thing right quick, and I'm gonna show you something. I've been already Googling a lot already, but I am gonna stick Google right here, and I am gonna type in SH the fan. Now, they have an acronym for when blank hits the fan. and they've got people who are preparing for it. Okay? If you type in SHTF on YouTube, you will get a boatload of videos and preppers, as they call them. Let me see if I can. Well, I ain't gonna do that. But it's big. Urban Dictionary. I had to look it up because I was looking at stuff about preppers and stuff. But anyway, they've got it's for when blank hits the fan. That's a whole bunch of websites for that. They have blogs, they got YouTubers, they got people out the yin yang for when blank hits the fan because they've been preparing for it. Look at that. See all these people? See all these things, survivalists and stuff like that. So, whenever you get a chance to type in that acronym for blank hits the fan on YouTube so you can see what they're doing to prepare. I'm going to see if I can get on YouTube right quick. I'm going to see if that thing will let me and stay on here. And it might not. See if it'll open there. Opening. And I'm going to see if I can jump on there and put this in the window. Give me a minute. I just thought about doing this a second ago. Otherwise, I probably would have already had it open and prepared. Okay. And I'm typing in blank hits the fan. See that preparation, guns, survival box, layout. Okay? Isn't that something? And these are the blogs and people who are preparing. They are serious. They are serious. Okay? They are serious. This is what I'm talking about. This is what they are preparing for when blank hits the fan. Remember on that little thing I just said when blank hits the fan? I didn't know about that they actually had an acronym for it and people actually preparing. I just knew that they were preparing, because they've been preparing all along. And we're late to it. We've been complacent. We've been waiting on government to take care of stuff. That government ain't looking out for us. That's why I say all of us need to have a little boat for when the flooding because it's obvious they don't come get us. So we on the roof raising flags and waving around towels and sheets while they fly by in helicopters ignoring us, having our members of the National Guard help rescue other people instead of us. So you get yourself a little boat because you got to take care of yourself. You can buy a little boat cheap on Amazon or in those other places, even a used boat. And I'm talking about just a little rubber raft, get your little life vest and things like that. Okay, so let me get back on here about talking about the reason why we need to prepare. Because basically, the mainstream society, and I'm talking about white people, aren't good when they panic. And right now they're in denial. But when they figure out that all the bad stuff is going to happen to them too, then they flip out and they come for easy pickings. So, when the system breaks and why, that's my first topic. Basically, America has lost the hearts and the minds and the trust and the affiliation and loyalty of the people of the world and the governments. We've done some things that are unbreakable that we can't even take back. Even if we do get our act together and come back from the abyss, which is possible, it's a small range of things that America has to do. But even if we do come back from the abyss, we won't never have the position that we had before. Right now, we're only bullies because we're forcing them to listen to us preach to them about democracy, and they keep their mouth shut because they know we got guns. We don't have any business in the world preaching to anybody about fair play and democracy because we haven't demonstrated fair play and democracy. So they listen to us go all over the world telling them about what democracy means and how important it is. Yet we have done everything to undermine democracy. I keep saying we because I identify with this country, and I don't like to hide from my sins. What do I mean by that? Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. When I was in the military, I'm a Vietnam veteran. Although I look like I'm younger, I'm in my 60s, and I heaven knows I haven't grown wisdom or maturity, but yet I'm in my 60s. Um, so I'm a Vietnam veteran. When I was in that period of the Vietnam War, I wasn't overseas, but I was at one of the military bases at Eglin in Florida, as a matter of fact. And Eglin at that time was an armament development and test center. The F-15, I think it was F-15 or F-14s were being tested there. I was there at that time, and some of the other things. But anyway, the men who were going overseas to fight in the Vietnam War were coming through where I was at because I was in food service at the time. I'm kind of prissy and I don't like nasty junk, so I figured that food service would be good for me because I have access to the food. I got control issues, so if I'm going to be in the military, I want either want food or controlling food or the guns, controlling the food or the weapons. I chose food. So I would be working at the serving line and I would be feeding people or giving people food who were getting ready to go overseas or coming back from overseas. At that time, there were also episodes on the news talking about baby killers and the My Lai massacre and the various things, atrocities that were going on as described in the Vietnam War. They were talking about war crimes and various things that were happening. And so I had to come to terms with realizing I was participating in making that stuff happen, even though I played a small part. If these men that were going overseas killing those people were actually sinning or doing evil, I recognize my culpability in it. The moment I handed somebody a cup of coffee, I inherited a bit of the sin. Okay? Didn't pull the trigger, didn't do nothing, but I can't be delusional enough or in denial enough to pretend like I didn't have nothing to do with that person going over there, even if it was a minute, small part. So that's why I keep saying we when I talk about the American government, because as long as I paid one penny in any form of tax or did anything to make this place run, then I am culpable for what it did, even though I don't control it. I have a, I have a, I recognize me as having a minute part of what they do. So that's going to be a sin that's on me. And I need to know about my sins before I have to pay for them so that I'm not handed a bill that I claim I didn't know I had. So I just like to be aware of my sins. Some things I do that is evil and I intend to do. Other things I can't fix, but I'm still culpable in making it happen. And if I pay one penny in tax dollars and they spend that minute portion of a penny to go do something evil, I am culpable for that portion that I put in there. So that's why I keep saying we. I don't like to hide from that. You cannot say you can change, you can make your own choices about where you fit. This is where I fit. So I just want to get that out there because all these bullets points I'm talking about, I'm going to be saying we because I recognize it. You don't have to, but I just want to explain. Okay. So we are bullies because we are out there talking out of both sides of our mouths, being absolute hypocrites, and they can't stop us from doing it because they are afraid of us right now. But if you ever looked in history, it's a bad idea to have too many people afraid of you or don't like you because they start forming alliances and things, and they take care of bullies. Just want to put that out there. We also proved that we can't be trusted. The moment the current administration got in office and started undoing all the stuff from the previous administration, we just told them that we can't give you guarantees, even if we claim we can. No guarantee that we gave you can be guaranteed because everything that one group did can be undone by the next group. So we can't be trusted. Our word is not worth a darn. That's what this DECA thing is proving. That even though one president gave these kids all kind of guarantees and assurances and blank, blank, blank. The moment that DECA thing came up in Congress as something they have to decide on, we just proved to the world that our word is not worth a hoot. One administration's word won't necessarily carry on to the next one, even though we wrote guarantees. And if you remember during the initial stages of it, when they were trying to get the Dreamers to come in, um, they had older people that were in the Hispanic community telling them not to do it. They were saying, no, that's how they get you. That's how they get your name. Don't do it. Don't do it. I mean, they had older people telling the younger people not to do it, but the Dreamers went forward and trusted, much to their regret, I suspect, because they were fined before they ever registered. Nobody knew about them, but they were suspected, but you couldn't guarantee. And now it's up for debate. So the citizens know that American government uh, is untrustworthy with their word, and the world knows it. Those are two things that can't be taken back. Okay, so we have lost respect of other nations, we lost their hearts, and we lost their trust. Those are things that can't be taken back. Okay, so the Hispanic communities has got a lot of older people around the kitchen table telling young people, you know, he can't help you because you did you you know, they're saying I told you so. There's a lot of older Hispanics telling younger Hispanics I told you so. Sometimes, you know, you sometimes the old folks do know. And now the world knows. The checks and balances aren't working. That is, the American government, in theory, is built on cross checks, where the various people in government, the Congress, Supreme Court, President, and yeah, Congress, Supreme Court, President, House of Representatives, Senate, Congress, they are all supposed to cross check each other. If Congress is getting out of hand, the Supreme Court can pull them back. Supreme Court getting out of hand, Congress can rewrite laws and pull them back. And that's how America goes forward. President is can pushing something, and him in Congress or her in Congress are pushing A. The Supreme Court can cross check them and pull them out. Okay. Sometimes people do abuse the laws and the principles and things, but each branch of government is supposed to be a check and balance or a cross check to pull the other branch out. But if all of them are on the same team and there's no cross balance, then you can almost do anything. President Trump once said he could murder somebody and be okay. If Congress don't call him on it, he probably could. They would have to do some really jumping around, but he probably could. Right now, we in trouble because the Supreme Court, Congress, and the president are all doing stuff that they shouldn't be. That in any other Congress and any other period of time would have long since been in front of a firing squad. So we are in firing squad territory. We have been in firing squad territory for a long time. So the check and balances aren't working. Not only that, Congress is, or at least half of Congress is, in my mind, culpable for whatever thing the president is doing or did, because they're trying to prevent the investigation from going forward. Soon as any member of Congress or the Supreme Court or any branch of legislation or even the president said one word to stop that investigation, then they were preventing it. And that's what the problem is. They're trying to prevent the investigation, whether it lands, whether everybody's clean, but you got to let it go forward so that we can all see that it's clean. And the world is watching that. Okay? So, yeah, we've been way in the firing squad territory. This is going to be one of my first links that I've got. That I'm leaving these in the description box, by the way. So, control and follow the link. I wanted to use law dictionary things, and these are the things that talk about treason and prison, sedition, and things like that, and conspiracy. I'm not going to go into them deeply, but when I was in the military, they taught us this stuff. And we are way past where we should be. And I don't know what the hell they thinking, but there's going to be some problems. Because the president is not above the law, and just because you're running the country don't mean you're not preventing committing treason. And I hate to say the T word, but here's one of the definitions of it right there. And this is for you to look at on your own time, because we're in trouble. And how do you call them on it without the Republican Congress, who can, without Congress jacking them up when Congress won't jack them up? So we are in trouble because there are things, disloyalty, uh, uh, things like that. Okay, all of that stuff matters. So how do we save ourselves when Congress ain't even doing it? So read those definitions in your own time. I'm just want this link there for you to look at them so you can see why I'm saying what I'm saying. Now I'm gonna click off of that too. the I'm gonna leave it alone and just let the investigation take its place. And but like I said, since Mitch McConnell controls the Senate, and the Senate is supposed to be one of the ones that jack the president up, he would be responsible for America falling, should it fall. Which brings me to this: when enough stuff comes out, and those people that be Trump's base wake up, they are going to wake up grumpy, angry, because that's their pattern. When they are denying, project and project, but when it becomes undeniable, they flip out. And that's why I'm saying we don't have as big of a grace period as I thought. I thought we had till next fall, but if they flip out before that, then they're gonna do the stuff that they plan to do, and it'll be ugly. So I wanted to talk about things like race riots. The original race rioters in America were white people. And I got a Google search link for race riots in America. That's what I typed in Google. And this is their search link. And I'm going to hit that a minute. And that's what I said, race riots in America. And as you can see, these are a lot of links. And I said white race riots in America, specific. Not only did they race riot against black people, they race rioted against anybody that was a threat to them. Um, when I took legal history, I was interested in the Chinese American experience because I wanted to learn more about how they overcame their obstacles. And so I wanted to see what happened. But early Americans would attack Chinese and destroy their businesses and them, and put them back on their boats, and it would be called a taking a slow boat to China. That's where that phrase came from. But these race riots, they attacked black people, they attacked anybody that threatened them, and they would come at them as a big mass or a mob and attack you and tear up everything. This is old European behavior, actually. Nobody has that I've seen has made that link. But when an old European town went to war with an old European town, or a city state as they call them, they come at you in mass, wreck your place, vandalize it, sack it, which is where those terms came from, vandals for vandalizing, sacks from the Saxons. That's what they did. They destroy and tear up and run off with all the stuff. That's what they didn't call them riots then. They just called it war and the way things are. But Europeans had a tough time. They were very, very, very bad among each other. It was terrible. They didn't have that little compassion thing happening. But look at this. See all of these links and these things. All right. The thing is that black people already know this. White people are capable of doing that again. They if they panic, okay? So that's why I'm saying you need to prepare, but you also need to have home defense. Now I'm gonna go to this next one talking about some. I left a link also about the race riots in when against the Chinese, because I think it's a good link for you to follow too. Control and follow the link. Chinese various ones. That one's in Wikipedia, so you don't have to go by that if you don't want to. But they got one down here that's not a Wikipedia. I looked at one of the case laws in my legal history class, and that's how I found out about them. I didn't know about it because they don't talk about it. It's not a history that you normally would know. But it was all in San Francisco with the gold miners, and these people would interact with the gold miners and stuff. But when the Chinese were doing too well, they came and would wreck their towns and sack it and tear it up. This is also what happened with the Jewish people in Europe when they tore up everything. I think they call it the night of the glass or the night of the crystals because they talk about all the broken glass in the area. And the European community attacked the Jewish community and mass and tore up everything. So this is old stuff. Old stuff. This is what they do when they panic. Okay? That's all I want you to understand. That's what happens when this bunch panics. Next, I want to talk about white identity extremists. And we're going to talk about the case in point. The biggest one, the most recent, is the Cliven Bundy story. And I got 3 links here. Because to me, this is anti government. These people pulled out guns on government employees. Every one of them should be in jail for treason or something, but they're not. And nor are they interested in putting him in jail. They have his name. They got his name. I read his name somewhere. This guy. Okay? And that's just a nice article I think you should see, because I'm going to talk about black identity extremists in a few minutes. This is a video where I'm not going to play it on this. Where they talked about
dramatic standoff caught on tape tonight.
I didn't mean to click that, but anyways, ABC News video, and I got the link for it, and it's going to be in my description box. But what he talked about was how, I'm going to let it go ahead and play.
Federal Rangers up against a rancher, but he has many people on his side this evening, all of it over what the government believes that rancher owes. But he's refusing to pay, and so who's right? ABC's Mike Betcher now with the face-off.
It was getting ugly fast in Nevada.
Get back! Get back now!
For 20 years, rancher Cliven Bundy has refused to pay rent to herd his cattle on government land. $1.1 million in grazing fees.
I have no contract with the United States government.
This week, federal agents armed with tasers and dogs were determined to evict his cows, seizing hundreds. Anti-government groups and some armed militia members joined the fight. The confrontation's turning rough.
I just saw federal agents throw my aunt on the ground.
I'm going to stop it right there because I think the point is made, right? That's the word federal agents, government employees, federal government. Okay? That means federal government, the American government. These people pull guns on the American government. So they're pointing to us, and I'm gonna leave these links right there. They're pointing to black people talking about black identity extremists, but we don't operate like that. We had no desire to do that. We won't do that. We haven't done that. But these people are preparing to take out the government. They just wanted the opportunity to do it. They can't wait to do it. So what I'm saying is when these people wake up and turn on the government, they are prepared to fight. That's what I'm talking about, that short period of chaos that we have to prepare for. Because these people are prepared to fight and they are violent. They are willing to be violent. Way beyond the league of anybody else. I'm leaving the link right there so that you can get it yourself. But this is old news. Most of you already heard about him. Most of you already know about it. But I just wanted to put that out there because the government let them do it. Even if they did call the National Guard and stuff, half of them people have to go home and change clothes to come back, be the National Guard, because half of them are National Guard. These people have military training. Only that's right. They have to go home and change clothes to put on their uniform to come uh, 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 hold off their own friends and each other. So that's where they come from. This is a quick search link to militia groups. Search link to militia groups. That's what I typed in. Okay. And just various ones. Military militia organizations. These are designed to be anti-government should the government get out of hand. Okay. That's what they do. I'm putting this here and putting it out there to you is because I want you to understand clearly that they know about these people. The government in the USA know about them. Half of them are in the government, or at least their friends. These are the gun groups. These are the people who don't like government, and they're waiting on a chance to. They're daring the government to come at them. Okay, and they are preparing to go to the government should they care to. And the thing is, Donald Trump woke them up because he's a president that they felt like they could believe in. Okay, that's the problem. They felt like they could believe in Trump, that he's for them. See this shit? I mean, stuff. The Trump era, armed government groups. And it's all over the place. They know about Trump. He done woke them up, and they done came out them bunkers and them hills because he's their man until he gets in real trouble and they stop believing in him. Okay, that's the problem. When these crazy, I call them the bunker people because they got these preparation bunkers for when crap hits the fan, and that's what I nicknamed them, the bunker people, because that's what they do. They hide in those bunkers and they stay down there and they got them all tricked out. I'm gonna look. Let's see what I'm gonna Google bunkers uh, for bunker people, people who live in bunkers. There. First, I'm gonna close this back out again and see if I can get it just open up in that square. Okay. Preparation bunk. Paration bunker. There you go. Look at them. They are ready for all kind of stuff. See that stuff? They are preparing. He done woke them up. They done came out of them bunkers and came to his rallies, and they believe in him until it comes to a point where they have lost faith in him, and that's when they panic, and that's when they trip and they go berserk. Okay. I'm gonna leave this search there because I want somebody else. I'm gonna copy and paste that because that's hysterical to me. Okay, let's see the bunker people. Let's put it right here. Bunker people. Bunker search. SEARCHLINK. Thingamajig. And then I drop that right there. How about that? so, so that's why I'm saying we're in trouble, okay? That's the reason why we've got to get prepared. And this is why we have a short window. Now I'm going to talk about, oh, I'm sorry. And then we got this one other link here. And this is the purpose for a militia group, but I think I already made my point, was that it's designed to, in part, deal with the government, American government. So if you want to, you can take a look at that too. The point is that the American government does know about them. And that's why the black identity extremist stuff that they're talking about is really a deflection, a ploy, and a joke. Because we don't do anything like that. The real people who are really preparing to take down the government are their neighbors and friends and your sons and your daughter in your own family. Okay? We, it ain't us. It ain't never been us. Which is why they keep on getting killed by their own, because they're so busy turning their head away from their own, the real threat, and looking at us. They got their head turned. They ain't even watching their own back, and cause they busy looking at us, and that's why they keep dying, and that's why the people keep killing them. Their own is their only is their real predator. It's never been us. We never been their predator. You wouldn't have got to us if we were really your predator. You wouldn't have been able to do what you did if we were actually a predator to you, because you wouldn't have been able to. We're actually gentle souled, peaceful people, but we're interacting with people who are not. So that's the basic of what I needed to say on this one. Okay, so this is the only thing I wanted to do was talk about why we needed to prepare. Okay, yeah, it's about why we needed to prepare. And this preparation talk that we're doing is a twofold operation. One is that the cosmos is moving, trying to open the door, but we have to be able to be in a position to walk through it. So it's twofold. The cosmos is moving, but some of this is going to be our work, because the cosmos is not going to give us a break this time. We've got to earn our way back. We did something stupid, and the cosmos is making us pay by earning it. We did something stupid, which is not appreciate sufficiently what we had. And just like anything else, when you don't appreciate it, you lose it. And so we lost the planet. To get it back, we got to earn it. And part of earning it, the first step is to be prepared and be in a condition so that you can receive the message from the cosmos and receive what the direction and the things that it needs to do. And so that's the cosmos is going to do its part, but we have to be ready for it. And so we got to eat right, which is going to be a trouble for me because I love me some Popeyes chicken and large cokes. But I'm trying to fix it where I'm drinking herbal tea and stop taking my pain medicine as much as I do. Trying to get to one Tylenol arthritis pain pill a day, and today is my first day of that, so I did good, tapering off of that, and various other things. Whatever hurdle you gotta face for your own household and yourself, you've gotta conquer them so that you'll be ready to walk through the door. About us when we separate, I was looking at that issue, and I've had to let go of some of the stuff that I was thinking about, who is who should and shouldn't be in. The only thing that I think now is that the people who don't want separation can't come with us. People who are still Christians can't come because they're bringing poison. And but I did have to compromise and back off on what I think the religious people are, the ones that are worshiping something other than a mother goddess. Just like I worship a mother goddess, there are other people who worship various other forms of the divine force. So I smile to myself and say, okay, well, if theirs is real and mine is real, then maybe they can be friends. So I backed off a little bit. And later on, when we separate and get our own autonomy, then we can branch off into our own enclaves for our various worshiping and spiritual wiring and the way we are. Because we're not all clones of each other. So we're not going to be doing the same exact thing. We're not wired the same way. And we shouldn't be. It'll be awfully boring. We'll be clones. And I would rather I know we can't, and it's a part of our rhythm, our point counterpoint. So one position here and another position there. That's the way it is. We're always point counterpoint, but we can come to an understanding of peace and love among us. So I had to back off of some of my notions about what other people need to do because it'll be empty. Won't nobody be there. Everybody that I see online has got something wrong with them according to somebody else. It'll don't nobody be there. Ain't nobody gonna be left. So what I did was reassess my position a little bit. I looked at it again. I said, if you didn't tell me who you worship, would I know? And the answer is no, because your actions are still the right actions. You're still talking about separation. You're still putting out the information. You're still eating right. You're still doing all those right things. So I ain't got a leg to stand on telling you you can't be where I'm at. And so I'm not gonna tell you you can't be where I'm at. I even put myself out because I'm childless and single. I'm not raising a child or a black child. I'm qualified to be a great grandmother now, but I never had a child. Scared of them. They have like diapers and stuff. Don't want to do that. And it looks like it hurt. So I never had a kid. And I'm unmarried. I'm straight. I like men a lot. But I'm unmarried, so I wasn't going to put myself in the final door, but I was going to be a facilitator and helper of the black family as they grow forward, and I still am. But we done put out the gay people, we done put out the Israelites, we done put out the this and the that and the Muslims and all these other people and the Moors and various things. But we have to, I don't know, but I think that we need to look and see what they're saying exactly, and then look and see what they're doing. Because right now, everybody that's actually said the words out of their mouth saying we need to separate are actually the founders of the separation movement. I'm including myself, I'm including all the people on the various social platforms and in person. If they're saying the words we need to separate, then we are the founders of this separation movement because we are spreading the word and advocating that idea. If it's come out of your mouth at any point before this one, you are one of the founders of the separation movement at this time. Okay? So if that's at any point before this that came out your mouth and you meant it, you're one of the founders. So half the founders won't be qualified to go in according to the other founders. It'll be empty. One person will be there. It's got to be more than one or two people. But the thing is, though, not everybody gonna make it. Not everybody even wants it. So we've got to work. So the first thing is our preparation, and the second thing is preparing ourselves to go into the cosmos. I mean, to listen to what the cosmos has to say. So we've got to get prepared, including myself. Okay, that's all I have to say on this one. This was fun. Thank you for listening to me. Bye bye. And stop.